Government tests identified black particles in Fanling housing estate tap water as bitumen. A survey shows overwhelming support for proposed regulation of basketball betting. And the U.S. vetoes a UN Security Council resolution demanding immediate Gaza ceasefire. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. An explanation from the government today for mysterious black particles found in tap water at two public housing estates in Fanling. Director of Water Supplies Roger Wong said preliminary tests identified the particles as bitumen, which could be leftovers from a similar water quality incident in 2022. He stressed the water there is safe to drink. Samantha Lee reports.
Mysterious black specks were found in tap water at Queen's Hill Estate and Shanghai Court in Fanling over the past week. To address public concerns, Director of Water Supplies Roger Wong explained the particles are non-toxic bitumen. Bitumen was used as an internal coating material in water pipes in the past, but it had been banned from use in pipes when the two housing estates were constructed. He believed the black particles could be leftovers from a similar water quality incident in the area in 2022.
In 2022, there is similar incident. At that time, we flushed the pipes and after that we install a filter so as to screen out all the black particles or other sediments that may move in the internal plumbing system. And we frequently cleanse the filter and do not find any sign of black particles, and also we frequently flush our water pipe and also do not find any sign of black particles. So I think so we deduce that the black particles or the sediments may be moved in or flow in the internal plumbing system before the installation time of our filters.
The authorities said they cleaned the water tanks at both housing estates after complaints emerged, and laboratory test results showed the water is still safe for consumption. Wong stressed the water does not contain toxic substance or carcinogens.
Based on our professional experience, these sediments or substances are very likely to be fragments or some fragments from our internal plumbing system of water pipes. So as we have very stringent requirements for the use of materials for our water pipes and also the internal plumbing system, so we consider that even some materials, some fragments of them are in the drinking water, they will not pose harmful effects to public.
Wong said the authorities are very concerned with public health and pledged to install filters at Shanghai Court and clean the pipes until no more particles are found in the water. Samantha Lee, TVB News.
The government said today a recent survey shows 94% of respondents support proposed regulation of basketball betting in the city. This after authorities launched a one-month public consultation on the issue in April. Lim Seng-ai reports.
Earlier this year, the government proposed establishing a regulatory regime for basketball betting. Authorities launched a one-month public consultation in April and received 1,063 submissions. Among them, 999 supported the proposal of setting up a basketball betting regulatory system, while 36 opposed it. The rest did not present a clear statement. In a document submitted to the Legislative Council, the government says it will take reference from the regulation of football betting and stipulate relevant license conditions to minimize adverse impact on the public. For instance, the licensed operator cannot accept bets from juveniles, as well as bets on local basketball games or games that involve Hong Kong teams. Authorities also proposed to set the duty rate for basketball betting at 50%, the same as football. Speaking to the media on Thursday, Secretary for Home and Youth Affairs Alex Mark said the administration does not encourage betting. She said authorities will adopt multiple measures to tackle illegal betting. Mark added her bureau will present the consultation results at the Legislative Council next week. Rooms 9, TVB News.
Police on Wednesday arrested 4 people on suspicion of stealing from Lan University's Student Union Fund. The suspects, aged between 21 and 24, were arrested for theft and conspiracy to steal. Speaking to the media on Thursday, police said 2 of the suspects were former core members of the student union, while the other 2 are current members. The force said the 2 former members were alleged to have stolen from the organization's fund by signing 4 checks involving $1.3 million between April last year and April this year. Of that amount, $900,000 were transferred to the bank accounts of the 2 current members. The suspects were alleged to have spent the money on personal expenses, including traveling and dining. The police said they would freeze the 2 students' bank accounts. A new taxi fleet is partnering with the Octopus Cards company to offer ride-hailing services and more payment options via the Octopus app. A newly launched fleet, Big Boss Taxi, is putting pedal to the metal with premium vehicle options that can seat up to 6 passengers. Rear seat passengers can even control the air conditioning. Another model in the lineup is a mainland-made fully electric 4-seater. The fare meter is placed closer to the backseat, bringing the charges closer to view. The fleet also includes wheelchair-accessible and hybrid taxis, with service expected to roll out in July.
In terms of the luxury car, obviously there will be some extra fee for booking, so we call it pre-booking fee. And for some EVs, electric vehicles, or Toyota Comfort Hybrid, their prices would be similar or even close to the current market prices.
Drivers must complete a training course, and each car comes equipped with real-time monitoring to ensure service quality. The fleet will collaborate with Octopus. Passengers will be able to book rides directly via the Octopus app and pay upfront using their Octopus card, smartwatch, or app.
Call, pay, settle. Drivers' income will now go directly into their Octopus business account for immediate payment or transfer to their bank.
Octopus is also planning to expand their partnerships with additional taxi fleets with additional digital mobility solutions. The United States has vetoed a UN Security Council resolution demanding an immediate and permanent ceasefire in Gaza because it's not linked to the release of hostages, and saying it would embolden Hamas militants. China's permanent representative to the UN blasted the U.S. for its veto, saying it had once again abused its veto power, extinguishing the glimmer of hope for the people in Gaza. Tracy Furness has more.
Please raise your hand.
All 14 other members of the UN Security Council voted in favour of the resolution that is demanding an immediate and permanent ceasefire in Gaza, describing the humanitarian situation in Gaza as catastrophic, and calling on Israel to lift all restrictions on the delivery of aid to the 2.1 million Palestinians in the territory. The United States vetoed the resolution, saying it must be linked to the release of hostages.
Meanwhile, we've had our negotiators on the ground trying to hammer out a real agreement to get hostages released, get a ceasefire, and provide humanitarian assistance. The United States will never stop working to free all the hostages, including the remains of 4 Americans murdered by Hamas, who have now been held in squalid conditions for 607 days. They will not be left behind.
China's permanent representative to the UN, Fu Zeng, fired back at the US veto, saying the United States has vetoed the Security Council's request for a ceasefire multiple times, and because of its shielding of Israel, several resolutions adopted by the Council have not been effectively implemented. Claims that Security Council actions would interfere with diplomatic efforts are completely untenable. As long as diplomatic efforts are genuinely aimed for peace, the actions of the Council will only provide strong support. Meanwhile, Palestinians in eastern central Khan Yunis are being displaced again and struggling to find shelter in crowded streets after the Israeli army issued evacuation orders Monday. And in Gaza City, Israeli strikes hit a tent, killing 7 people, including 2 women and a 7-year-old girl. Israel has increased its operations in Gaza since it ended a ceasefire with Hamas in March, after militants refused to change the agreement to release more hostages sooner. Israeli strikes have killed thousands of Palestinians since then, according to Gaza's health ministry. Tracy Furness, TVB News.
North Korean leader Kim Jong-un pledged unconditional support for Moscow's war with Ukraine during a meeting on Wednesday with Russian Security Council Secretary Sergei Shoigu in Pyongyang. In April, the two countries officially confirmed that North Korean troops were helping Moscow's forces repel a Ukrainian incursion into Russia's Kursk region. In the meeting with Shoigu, Kim affirmed that North Korea will unconditionally support the stand of Russia and its foreign policies in all the crucial international political issues, including the Ukrainian issue, the official Korean Central News Agency said. The two discussed how to solidify strategic partnerships. Russia's state TASS news agency reported that Shoigu and Kim also discussed prospects for rebuilding the Kursk region. Russia claimed in April that it had fully reclaimed the Kursk region, though Ukraine insists it still has troops there. And still ahead, the Trump administration gets tough with Columbia University and Harvard University. One more suspect arrested in connection with the Hangen Bank robbery at City One in Shatin. And Belgian princess in Hong Kong to promote conservancy. Welcome back. The U.S. Department of Education said it believes Columbia University had violated federal anti-discrimination laws by its alleged failure to protect Jewish students on its campus. Meanwhile, U.S. President Donald Trump has escalated his rift with Harvard University, looking to suspend entry into the U.S. for foreign exchange students. The administration says Columbia has not met accreditation requirements set by the Middle States Commission on Higher Education. It says the college acted with deliberate indifference towards the harassment of Jewish students during pro-Palestinian protests. That may affect the university's eligibility for federal student loans. Meanwhile, Trump cited national security concerns to justify barring international students from entering the U.S. to study at Harvard. Harvard described it as another illegal retaliatory step by Trump that violated its First Amendment rights. It comes a week after a federal judge said she would issue an injunction blocking Trump from revoking Harvard's ability to enroll international students. Federal prosecutors charged two Chinese researchers with smuggling a crop-killing fungus into the U.S. last summer. Prosecutors say it can be used as an agricultural terrorism weapon. Jian Yuqin and Liu Zunyong are charged with conspiracy, smuggling, making false statements, and visa fraud for allegedly bringing the fungus Fusarium graminearum into the U.S. The 33-year-old Jian was booked in Detroit federal court. The 34-year-old Liu is thought to be in China. According to the FBI, Liu had small baggies of the fungus stashed in his backpack when he flew to the U.S. last year. He initially claimed ignorance, then said he needed it for research at a University of Michigan lab, where Jian worked and where Liu previously worked. The fungus causes a disease that can wipe out cereal crops, inflicting $1 billion in losses annually. It can also cause diarrhea, abdominal pain, headache, and fever in animals and people. Sources say police have arrested another suspect in connection with Monday's robbery at a Shatin branch of Hangen Bank. Sources say the male suspect is 47 years old. After an investigation, police say the 49-year-old alleged robber had given part of the stolen cash, $100,000, to the man. On Wednesday, the man turned himself in to police and handed over about $80,000. The robbery happened at the Hangen Bank branch at Fortune City One shopping center in Shatin on Monday. During the incident, the robber fled with $380,000 in cash. Princess Marie Esmeralda of Belgium is in Hong Kong this week as an ambassador for the Worldwide Fund for Nature. Speaking to TVB News, the princess underscored the importance of cross-border collaboration on conservation. Princess Marie Esmeralda of Belgium officiating the opening of Guardians of the Green, a photo exhibition at the Hong Kong Central Library, co-hosted by the Embassy of Honduras to China, the Consulate General of Belgium, and the Worldwide Fund for Nature, Hong Kong. It showcases a selection of photographs of tropical forests across continents, documented by her father, King Leopold III of Belgium, throughout his life. The curation aims to show the beauty but also vulnerability of the wildlife, as well as the importance of cross-border environmental protection efforts.
This week we can see that there was horrendous floods in part of China, in Yunnan province. In Europe there was an entire village in Switzerland which was devastated. So it's very, very urgent. Now Europe and China and Hong Kong can play a real important lead, as we see that the US is sort of going a bit away of all those issues. China is the main driving force, and Europe as well. So we need a very strong collaboration between those two important powers.
Like her father, the princess, as a former journalist and documentary filmmaker, has witnessed environmental degradation firsthand.
I could see how deforestation, loss of habitat for species are destroying one of the most important rainforests of the world and impacted their local communities who don't have any more fish. It's very acute and the problem is completely linked.
She says green finance plays a vital role in climate action and sees Hong Kong as a potential regional hub for sustainable investment where business and policy leaders can join hands to advance biodiversity protection. And that's the news. Thank you for watching.